Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I haven't done one in a long time. The questions were asked on Instagram and I'm going to answer them here. It's a good question. It depends where. If it's on social media, it's almost just like you're just gonna have to ignore it because it takes a lot of confidence to even post something online in the first place, especially if you're a little bit self-conscious about your body, or maybe weight gain or weight loss, whatever it is. And also sometimes you have reasons for why that happened and it could be very personal and it's not something that you have to share on social media. So I would probably say in the social media world, just ignore it. But when it's face-to-face, like if it's family members or friends, I think it always helps if you just actually tell them that that upsets you, that you don't want them to comment on your weight. You know, whether it's a gain or a loss, you know, it could be so many reasons, and not to mention, you know, body. And I think it's our responsibility as well sometimes, especially depending on community, to tell our families not to say anything. My mum used to, like I have relatives that used to always, you know, fat shame me a lot. And I think one day I just kind of said to them like, don't. And then I had to tell my parents to tell those family members not to make those comments, just so that, you know, everyone in the household knew, no, you know, it's not okay. So try that. One makeup product that I can't live without, I'm gonna have to say concealer. I usually, when I think about it, I walk out of the house usually with absolutely nothing, but then a concealer really freshens up and makes my tired eyes look like I've slept 10 hours, so yeah. I wasn't sure if I was going to answer this question. Surprisingly, in a lot of my Q&As, this is a very common question, and you know what, it's fair that you asked this. Let me tell you this, okay? Right, you have social media and you have the real world. The more you grow on social media, there are people that you are going to be following for a long time, or there are going to be people that follow you for a long time. So everyone has an idea and a preconception about who they believe they're following, right? And then you meet them and then you're just like, oh my God, you already believe that you're gonna love that person no matter what because of social media, because you've been following them for so many years. It's almost like you're so overly excited, and then you jump into that friendship and you do everything and you share everything, and it's literally like those teenage friendships where it literally just goes so fast and so intense, and then the moment something small happens, or there's a small minor disagreement about something really stupid or petty, it comes crashing down and it's almost like, oh, I thought you were like this. And I think that goes vice versa. And I think that's normal. These kind of like you falling out with somebody, it's a normal thing. It happens to all of us. However, when you do publicly post about these people like I did, and tagged them and credited them and took them to work and, you know, or like did shoots with them or hung out with them, had them over at my house, or I was at their house, or they were there at my wedding, or whatever it is, people see, you know, especially when it's another influencer. I mean, I don't think people will know if I've fallen out with a cousin or with my mom or my dad. Like, nobody would know about it because you don't share it, or I don't share it. But then obviously if it's influencers or small businesses, then people notice, because they notice, firstly, they notice that you guys followed each other. Then they notice that you don't post any pictures together anymore. So everyone naturally realizes something's happened. And it could be something really small, but people just make assumptions because we're not gonna go publicly and say what the other person did. I mean, I don't do that. I don't air my dirty laundry like that. And I would never talk about anybody else on anything, like whether it's, you know, publicly or in a forum privately or whatever. It's not the way I am. I honestly wish everyone well, and I wish everyone to be happy, and it's okay if they don't wish the same thing for me. I've just learned not to post so much about other people on my social media anymore. Like I you know, if I really like that person and our principles and values align, you know, with each other, perfect. Then I'd rather have a private relationship with them and grow that privately, rather than the exciting of like, oh my God, tag, 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 credit, credit, credit. Like, I think that can go really badly, and it did for me. So yeah, so there are quite a lot of people over the years. I mean, I've been on Instagram for like 12 years, so there's quite a lot of people, but you know, it's a learning lesson, and I know, and it's a fair question that you ask, because obviously I have shared that side or a lot of people throughout, and then naturally you're just like, what's going on? So I'm telling you that, yeah, I'm not talking to some of these people, and I think it's okay. I just won't do what I did before, that's all. I am going to, this is the little corner of my house with some paintings around here and stuff, so I've just not had the time. Like I promise you, I vlogged from before we even started renovations in the house. So when we literally came to see the house, after the tenant moved out, I took everything and furniture shopping and stuff. But then it got really stressful. If you do follow me on Instagram, you would have known that we had 3 builders and we had so much stress, so many problems, and you know, financially it was just, so vlogging wasn't on my mind. So there are pieces of furniture that we have bought and we have decorated the house, and unfortunately I didn't get to vlog them. So I want to make sure that I go through the earlier footages and then make sure, like whatever I'm missing, to kind of add them and to share where we bought things, because I would love to share like all the pros and cons of like renovating and what to look out for and things like that. Because if I had seen a vlog like that, or if I had somebody tell me very honestly what to look out for, I think we could have saved a lot of pain and money. Well, I'm not sure I understood the question. Well, I'm gonna answer it both ways. So one is that it's hard. YouTube is hard because you have to constantly think of content. You then have to think of the title. You have to think of hashtags, what to include in the description. You obviously have to edit it. You have to make sure that you don't have copyright music. And then like, it's a whole thing. And I think YouTube, out of all the content that I create, is the most time consuming. However, one thing that maybe this might have been how you asked that question is that YouTube is the one platform that pays you. So it pays you. You don't have to do anything. I don't get paid from Instagram. I don't get paid from TikTok. Instagram itself doesn't pay me, or TikTok doesn't itself pay me. It's usually the brands that I work with. You know, they're the ones that pay me to post something or to create something. That's different. Whereas with YouTube, you don't have to have an affiliation with anyone, because YouTube itself pays you. And that's why it becomes hard what kind of content you post, because the more views, the more engagement, the more money that you get. But why not? Like, you know, why not just go on YouTube? Who cares? Like, there's always going to be 1 or 2 videos that are going to do really, really well. And you know, you could potentially start off by like just getting like £100 a month, and it can go up to £1,000 a month. I'm actively now back on YouTube, so I haven't earned thousands of pounds in quite a while, and I think since COVID as well, people's attention span has changed. So YouTube has become a little bit more difficult, I think, than it used to before. But I'm just like, well, you know, and that's what I would say to you as well. Why not just do it and just have that money coming into your account every month? Fair question. I think people have, I mean, it's something that I've mentioned so many times in the early days, even before I got married. It was something that was a dream. I've always thought, okay, since I've known from the age of like 20, I'm trying to think, 21, 22, I've known that I couldn't conceive. Seen so many different gynaes, who've all given me the same conclusion. And back then, surrogacy wasn't something that people even heard of. It was more, the alternative would be adoption. We have looked into adoption, and we have looked into surrogacy, and well, my husband prefers surrogacy over adoption, whereas I prefer adoption over surrogacy, because surrogacy is almost like getting your body ready for an IVF as well. So with both, I think there's so many pros and cons, and ultimately my husband and I have to agree on something. If we're going to be a family and we're going to love that child no matter what, we both need to be on the same page. And unfortunately, it's not something we have been. And as time goes and as I'm getting older, you know, and I'm a little bit older, well, yeah, I'm a little bit older than my husband. So I feel like we both have gotten to that point in life now where we're just like, we're really happy with each other and we really like our careers and we like our lifestyle, we like our routine, and yeah, we just never talk about it anymore. And surprisingly, our parents, like his mom or my parents, don't really talk about that to us anymore either. Like maybe about 5 years ago, it was that constant nagging of like, why don't you do surrogacy? Even if you don't have the money, we'll pay for it. Or with the adoption, it would always be this constant pushing us to do something, and well, not even pushing us, but supporting us in it and encouraging us. And I think we weren't ready then because we were moving, we had the house that are renovating. So there was so much going on in our personal life that we were like, okay, we'll do it next year, we'll do it this year. And then, yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure if I will have regrets. Obviously, all of my friends, well, 90% of my friends, I do have 2 friends who chose not to have children. That was a choice that they made as a couple, that they didn't want to have children. And there are some of my cousins who are actually talking about it as well, that when they get married, they don't really want to have children. So I feel like generation has changed. People, I don't know, like it's not as like, oh, you get married and then you have a child. Like I think that's changed, especially in our community. I feel like it's becoming more acceptable that as a married couple, you don't have kids, and people don't ask me questions like this as well. My husband and I go to like a lot of places in terms of like family events or whatever. So when we go, nobody asks us that question anymore. They used to, and it used to sometimes upset me, especially when I would drive back on the way back and I'd be very quiet and my husband would know it's because I got upset because somebody asked me, oh, you know, or they would make comments like, for your marriage to succeed, you have to have a child. And that used to really get to me, and naturally you think about it and you're like, oh my God, is my husband gonna leave me if I don't give him a kid? But then now I don't have those worries or those doubts, and maybe when I'm 60 I might really regret not having children, or I don't know, I'm not sure. But at this moment in time, unfortunately, it's not something that we are going to do. It's just going to be the 2 of us. And I know that some of you watching might not agree at all. You probably won't like me for this. You might just be like, what the hell? How can you not have children or want to have children or whatever it is? And then some of you, it might even encourage you. Some of you might feel like, hey, you know, Vithya and her husband have been married for 6.5 years and they seem super happy. Why not, you know? So to be honest, I put a lot of effort and time into everything that I do. So if I know that I'm going to work, if I'm traveling, whatever it is, I plan my content from start to finish. Like I already in my head, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Ultimately, that's what you're doing. You have to be super organized and very consistent if you want to do well, or if you want to have a growing platform. So I don't know. I don't sometimes know where I find the time to, you know, to do all of these things. Like I obviously do my brides, and when I do my brides, it just means that obviously I'm constantly messaging with them, and you know, you're changing, like exchanging ideas. Sorry, I do a trial, then they leave their saris and I prep and pleat their saris, and I have to arrange for them to come and collect it. I have to arrange flower orders for the brides. And this is just the brides, okay? And then obviously the whole day leading up to it, everything. That's just like so much time that just goes on one client. And then it's Instagram, it's TikTok, it's YouTube, it's thinking of ideas, creating the content. Sometimes I have to do my own sari blouses, so then that means I have to sort that out and plan it. If I want content that I'm gonna post on this day, I need to make sure that I give my sari blouses in advance. And as much as I have so much jewelry anyway, from like PR packages and things like that, sometimes certain jewelry is not gonna go, you know, with content. And this is just content that I create at home. If the brands that I work with or businesses want like a professional shoot, I then have to sort out the studio, I have to get the photographer, I have to make sure that I plan the content and, you know, travel, lunch, everything, and sorting it out for the team and potentially taking them out for dinner after. Like that's another whole thing as well. And then obviously I am trying really hard recently to do meal prep, so I cook for the week, and then, you know, put them in the fridge in containers. Like I do my macros, so I measure how much quinoa or meat or whatever. So I'm trying to be like super conscious and really healthy with what I'm eating. So then that also takes time. And then gym, and I go to classes at the gym, so I try and go 2 to 3 times a week at least. At the moment, that is my maximum. It's so hard to try and fit that in. That's another thing. And I love watching movies and series, so I'm squeezing that in while I'm eating or while I'm on the tube. I'm trying to watch an episode or whatever. And then I love reading books, and I can easily read like 5 to 6 books a month, easily, sometimes even more. So that's really important to me as well, so then I do that. Then on top of that, maintenance. Like I like to get my hair done, because I think for me, I feel like I've become a brand. It's really important that I look after myself. I'm the walking advertisement because I'm a hair and makeup artist, I feel anyway. And so I get my nails done, and I have to have my nails looking clean, because obviously it's not just for shoots, but even if I do getting ready shots with my brides and the photographers are taking close-ups, it's usually just my hand in it. So I don't want my nails to look horrible, because these brides are going to potentially want to put these snippets or these pictures in their wedding album, and I don't want them to be like, oh, like, look at Vithya's nails. Not that they would, but you know what, it's important to me that I look clean, tidy, presentable, that I basically groom myself really well. And so that takes time as well, and you know, money, everything. And then spending time with family and friends, like obviously my husband. So we try and do little trips, and next year I'm traveling a lot for work, so I'm actually going to drag him with me for all of it, because otherwise I won't get to see him much. Obviously my parents, my cousins, my friends, and I'm one of those people, I make an effort with people that I really care about, so I go to everything that they invite me to. Like it's usually just that one circle, and I just kind of, there's a lot of people over the last few years who I was really close to, and I would invite them to everything. I would invite them to everything, and they will come to everything. But then over the years, I've noticed, wait a second, they never invite me to their home. They never invite me to their birthdays. They never introduce me to their kids. They don't really include me in their life. It's almost like people just want to get tagged or credited. I don't know. And so after a while, I had to really think about who my actual friend circle is, and who my close cousins are, who always have my back or who are loyal. For me, it's important that I'm friends with somebody who, when I'm not in the room, has nice things to say about me. And even if somebody says something bad about me, they'll stand up for me. That's the kind of qualities that are really important to me now. So yeah, so again, spending time. And then there's birthdays. A lot of my friends have kids, and then I'm just planning in my head, do I, you know, send them something for Christmas or birthday or this or that? Yeah, I genuinely have no idea how I do it all. From the question before, or the answer before, you can tell that I do so much, honestly. Like my life is so hectic that I just don't have time for negativity. And surprisingly, if I do have a few days where I have nothing, which very rarely happens, or during quieter seasons, I'll have maybe 2-3 days in a row where I actually have nothing and I'm not motivated to do any content. That's when I start overthinking and overanalyzing, and I sit there and I'm just like, oh, you know, and then I end up feeling like I'm spiraling down into this, you know, dark, negative sort of place. So I kind of like stay away from it. So I just keep myself busy. Obviously, if there is pressing issue and there is something that's affecting my mental health a lot, I would use that opportunity to talk to my loved ones, you know, obviously first my husband, some of my friends, my cousins, you know, or worst case scenario, yeah, if I really feel like I have nobody to talk to and nobody's understanding me, then it will be a therapist. So yeah, so I try and stay positive as much as I can. You know what? It's only one thing. It's time. When people don't respect your time, when people make you wait, or when people kind of like push you around and say, oh yeah, we could do it then, we could do it. It's almost like you're not valuing or respecting my time. And like, I used to have this one friend who would just be like, oh, when are you free next month? And I'll give her dates of like when I'm free. But then she'll pick a date that she's free and she's like, oh, but can you not do this date? And I'm just like, but you've just asked me and I've given you my availability. What makes you think that your life is more busy than mine. Like we're all busy in our own way, whether you have kids or not or whatever. Like we're all busy somehow. And yeah, I always used to find that very disrespectful, and she used to do that to me a lot, and I used to just think, okay, you don't value my time, you don't even value or respect my career, you probably think I'm some idiot that does social media. So yeah, for me it's time. That's like the biggest thing, and if people don't value my time or make me wait or something, I do get very angry. This is a good question. Do you know what? Because my career or my work is like my baby, like I've worked so hard, and I started it at a time where it wasn't very common, people didn't do it, and I took those risks, and I took, you know, like the courage and whatever you want to name it, okay? I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but I'm just saying that that when somebody does have something to say about my work, it does hit a nerve. I'm not gonna lie. Like I just sit there and I'm just like, especially if it comes from a stranger from social media, like if somebody's just like, oh, you know, your work sucks or your work is not great, then it hits a nerve. But then I always think to myself, like I'm just like, you're not a client of mine, you're not somebody, like I can take productive criticism, okay? Like if somebody is going to, like a client of mine lets me know what they liked or didn't like, we can have a discussion about it, you know, and figure out where we went wrong or something like that. That's okay, and that will definitely push me to do better. And that used to happen with my masterclasses. When I first started my masterclasses, we used to get a lot of negative feedback from the students who paid and came. So naturally, you know, you're apologizing and you're just like, oh my God, and then you make sure you take that feedback and you make the next class better. And that's kind of what you do in life, right? With anyone that gives you some kind of feedback, you just kind of take it and then you're just like, okay, you know? But when it's just that randomness, like where somebody just says something to be mean or to attack you or to just hurt you, then no. It does, like I said, it does end up hitting a nerve and it does end up hurting. But I do get over it, because when I do talk about it to my family or my parents and stuff, they all say to me, they're just like, yeah, but I mean, what would have been the reason for them to even say that to you? Like, because it's not a client, it's not somebody who knows you, they're just analyzing based on what? And I'm just like, actually, that's so true. That just didn't come from a nice place or a constructive place, you know? Sorry, I said productive criticism, I meant constructive criticism. Honestly, life is too short. I'm gonna say two things, one about life and one about skincare or makeup, okay? One thing is, life is too short. Honestly, if there is something that you really want to do, then just do it. Like, anything could happen tomorrow, anything could happen, and I just feel like, you know, obviously within your means, and I don't want you to like drop your studies and go and, you know, do something just because I said, you know, go live your life or something. No, like obviously, don't put things off. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't put something in the back burner and you're like, oh yeah, I'll do it next year, or I'll do it in 2 years and stuff. Like, life is short, and I feel like a lot more people are becoming really unhealthy, or they're having, you know, health issues and, you know, so many things. And I don't know, like, do things while you can. So that's probably what I would definitely say. And then the second thing is SPF. Wear SPF. Like all the time, wear SPF. Oh, and teeth hygiene. Try and go to a dentist, please. Go get your teeth cleaned, look after your dental hygiene, because if you ruin your teeth, there's nothing you can do. And I know this because so many elders in my family all struggle with their teeth, and they spend or have spent probably most of their savings on getting their teeth fixed. So sort that out in your 20s. There's I think there's like a quote. It says, you can buy fashion, but you can't buy style. So I think I've always been somebody who likes to, well, yeah, I follow trends, but then at the same time, I do what I feel suits me. I used to always sometimes people would look at my outfit and they'll be like, you know, and then before you know it, a year later, they'll be wearing the same thing. I think sometimes for some people, they need to wait and see. The more people wear it, the more comfortable they are to wear it as well, because they don't feel like anyone's gonna judge them or criticize them. I'm usually the opposite. Like, I like to set a trend. I like to do something that nobody's done, or I like to wear something that I'm just like, ooh, you know. I mean, that's not the case now. I feel like with the kind of accessibility that people have with social media and fashion, I feel like a lot more people are really conscious of what they wear and how they dress. So Pinterest is definitely a great place. Like if I buy a denim skirt, I would Pinterest it saying how to style a denim skirt, and then I'll see all the different options, and then I'll pick a look that resonates with me. And yeah, so Pinterest, oh my god, like my Pinterest is insane. That's all. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I feel like I might have said things or done things like that might trigger, or that might start somebody saying, oh, look what she said. So I try to be as honest and open as much as I can. So forgive me if I did say anything that wasn't right or wasn't okay. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this after a long time. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time.